Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live, and as you guys can tell by channel thumbnail, today I'm going to be working on making my game in Unreal Engine. This is currently part 14, which is day 215. Honestly, was it 215 or 216? Let me fact check it. Hold up. I did the same exact thing last stream to fact check it, even though I just wrote my title. There we go. So it's day 216, part 14 of my series, where I'm going to be working more on rigging and actually getting started on making my map for my actual, which we call my actual project type stuff. Let's go to my gameplay screen. And guys, in case you guys don't know what I mean by map, it's like I want to work on an adventure map which is big enough so all my NPCs can spread apart and also follow my player, but it should be small enough that it doesn't get like I don't need to like look for my NPCs by just walking around because they don't have like a navigation system that points me to my NPCs or who do I kill next. That said, let me just go ahead and firstly check something. Okay, speaking of checking, let me open my HANA Final Blend here real quick because I have a strong feeling that I'm missing something here. Okay, because I wanted to change something last stream. So apparently I walk that way, and then once I'm done with that, I do not want my leg to go back. So this is how it actually plays. Let me go from the side preview. So that is how I walk. But you guys see my leg goes a little back. So I want to kind of avoid that and delete these two. I want to see what happens if I delete them. Then my other leg should apparently go in front. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save the code. I'm going to move on to File. Let's go with something like save copy. I want to save a copy here. I'm going to save the copy as HANA for export blend, where I'm going to go ahead and let's say delete this HANA for export blends, delete that, and delete that. Okay, I'm going to exit that and change the name to something like HANA underscore for underscore export. There we go. And then let's save as a copy. Okay, I was thinking about this off stream that why does it look like I have a glitch when I'm walking? That's probably because I get myself back, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna just go ahead and exit this now. Next up, I'm gonna open my actual HANA for exports blend here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and export this. So let's grab this there. Okay, this should be perfect. So I do have a regular walk cycle now. So I'm gonna go to file and then I'm firstly actually hold on before file, I don't know why I'm rushing this process. I'm gonna go to object, but I'm gonna select everything and then I go to file, under file, I'm gonna go to export and I'm gonna export it as a QLB file. There, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say call this something like, let's see, I don't really have a animation list. I'm gonna go to transform, nothing, include selected objects, remember export, and I guess that's pretty much it. Let's just export the QLB file. There we go. Now the export has been exported inside my actual blend. Perfect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and exit this. Let's go with something like, should I save? I guess I'm gonna go ahead and save, like it's not a big deal. Okay, once I save my HANA for export blend saves here. Okay, I actually think that's pretty good now. But I'm gonna remove that for the time being. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say move on to. Oh, sorry, I have tried VLang already. Actually, I haven't tried VLang yet, but I will definitely try it soon. Okay, have you seen Iron Man already? Actually, I haven't actually watched Iron Man. That's sad. We'll just go up here. Okay, let's go up here, and then I'm gonna go to my C desk. And guys, in case I feel like it feels like I'm a little messed up right now, it's because I came from college. Like it's just been I think an hour or something. So I gotta get in the mindset of actually working on my project because I kind of sort of forgot where I was at last stream. Okay, I'm gonna open my Unreal Engine and check if the animation worked. If it worked, then I'm gonna get back to Blender and work on making my map because that would be a harder part. Okay, let's wait for my Unreal Engine to open. I honestly did put a countdown as to how long does it take for Unreal Engine to really open. Okay, that's it. Let's see. I'm gonna go there. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let's say grab my content browser once everything is loaded. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just delete my HANA for export blend. Let's go ahead and delete. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and force delete all the materials, everything. Type stuff. Let's delete that. I'm gonna go with something like delete. Oops, there we go. I wanna see if I can delete it using my. Okay, I can delete it using backspace. That's good. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go to something like maps, double click my mini project map. I do see my mesh here, to be honest. I see my static mesh up there as well, which means that I might have my static mesh somewhere up here. But that is most likely in my QLBs, right? There we go. So I have one HANA for export, which I gotta get rid of. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And let's just delete everything real quick. I'm gonna delete my skeletal mesh because I'm gonna go ahead and get all those again, so it's not a big deal. And then I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. This is my materials. Lastly, I'm gonna delete my entire HANA for export. And that's about it. You guys may be thinking, why am I deleting it a lot? Because I'm also trying to get a practice as to adding my animations here myself. My other animation was deleted as well. Kind of sad, but not too bad. Okay, I guess I'm going to open my content browser. I'm going to go to content. I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a new folder called something like HANA. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and let's say double click it. I double clicked the wrong thing, didn't I? I'm going to go here. Let's find HANA. There we go. And then I'm going to double click that. I drag my QLB file up here. And then that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and import. Once I'm done importing that stuff, I'm actually going to go ahead and just grab my chat on my phone real quick. And then I'm going to open Gemini. Okay, not really Claude because I use Claude for, whatchamacallit. I use Claude for the actual programming part, but then Gemini is better when it comes to actually guiding me through nodes. And a good thing is I actually have all my steps up here. That's a nice thing. I might need to save it up later. I'm going to have this in my other window just for some reference. Okay, and then I'm going to get it in the center so I can actually see it. Whoops. Hold up, guys. There we go. It's harder than it thinks to get it in the center. There, I'm going to go all the way down. Then I'm going to go a little bit up. All right, perfect. So let's go to step one. The Blender handshake. First, we need to create the brain again by clicking content browser. Okay, so I have my HANA exports here, which has got my skeletal mesh, and it's got my static mesh as well. Has my static mesh too, right? Has materials and skeletal mesh. I think that's what I'm going to be using here. So that's it. I'm going to double click mine. And here I'm going to right click and let's create a blueprint class. I'm going to go with animation and let's create a animation blueprint, right? Okay, I'm going to name it I'm going to select my skeleton first and then I'm going to create and name it ABP, which is basically animation blueprint underscore HANA. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and let's say double click it. Let me just grab that up there so it's much more visible. Okay, I have my output post. They are going in the correct direction. Next up, select your character, go open the event graphs tab. Okay, where I do see my event blueprint node and my ANEN instance. Phase 2, build the speed logic. Try get spawn owner, drag it off, and get velocity. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go with something like try get spawn owner. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag my return value off and get velocity. I'm going to go with something like get velocity. I'm assuming I got to get vector from my velocity. So I'm going to go with something like get vector. Before I really get my vector, I want to fact check it. Okay, so vector length, not really get vector. My bad. Vector length. Okay, and after vector length, I'm going to drag the return value, and I'm assuming it's crucial. I gotta grab my ground speed. Right click the floating point promote variable. Okay, right click the float output to promote it to a variable. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and name this variable. Let's say something like ground speed. Double click. How do you name this variable? There we go. I want to rename. Let's go with ground speed. Okay, perfect. And then once I'm done with this, I'm assuming I gotta go ahead and drag this return value from my events tab or this white node to there. There we go. Gotta remember this part. Okay, and then next up, phase 3, the blend space. Instead of a single animation, let's prep the professional way again. Right click in the content browser, okay. And then animation, Blend space one dimensional. So I'm gonna go to animation. I'm gonna go with blend space, which is one dimensional by default. I'm gonna go ahead and select my HANA for export again, and let's name it. I think I could name it something like locomotion. That is fine. Open it under access settings. I'm gonna go with locomotion. I could go with walk as well, like walk motion, but either is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and open this next. Now I'm pretty sure I gotta go ahead and drag two of this, one here, which is going to be my last value of max speed 600, one is going to be my zero value. I'm gonna change my maximum speed value to 600, and I'm gonna turn my loop on. I don't see a loop, so I'm gonna look for a loop real quick. Let's go with LOOP. Okay, my loop is on, so that's good. Next up, drag the stuff, yada yada, to keep loops on. Step 4, the anim graph. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code. Control S to save the code. Make sure everything is saved here. And then I'm gonna go to my anim graph. Okay, I didn't have any space for my chat. There we go. In my anim graph, in your ADP, right click and add a state machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click, add a state machine. Okay, I didn't remember all these steps, but I do forget just a little. Okay, add a state machine, double click the state machine, drag from entry to create a new state called locomotion. Double click, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drag one from my state machine. I'm gonna add a new state and call it locomotion. LOCOMOTION. Okay, and then plug your ground speed variable in the pin. So I'm assuming you gotta go ahead and grab my ground speed here. Oh, my bad. Double click the locomotion. And then I'm gonna grab my ground speed here. I'm gonna get ground speed and let's plug it in. Can't plug it in there. Plug your variable into the speed pin. Plug my variable into the speed pin. Nope, let's see. Connect the blend space to the results. Okay, double click your locomotion, drag your new blend space into the graph. I see. Okay, so my new blend space into the graph. My none is going to be connected here. That's going to be connected there. Okay, and then we compile, right? Let me get that there. Okay, connect the blend space to the results. That is the blend space. I could name this something like blend space, and that is my ground speed. Okay. Step 5, the final connection. Go to your character blueprints, walk, select mesh, animation. Okay, I guess I'm going to hit Control S to save the code. Let's go to my character blueprint. Before that, I'm going to compile. There we go. Let's compile. Okay, compiling should have done something unless I put the wrong value in there. Now I can remove this none. Whoops, how do you remove the link? Break this link. I'm gonna go ahead and compile. Is something missing here? I'm gonna go with Control Z. Let's, I don't know, break my link. Have results. I have ground speed. I'm gonna hit Control S. Compile. Wait, nothing happens. Let me check. What part do you do here? Okay, so the execution pin, crucial, connect the data, try nodes, that, yada yada. Okay, use blend. So double click the movement state, drag your BS locomotion from the content browser. Hold on, guys. Move to the anim graph. Okay, I am in the anim graph right now, and then right click state machine, connect your output pose, double click the state machine, drag from entry new state called movement, use your blend space, double click the movement state. So if I were to go here, that is apparently my movement, which is basically locomotion. And then it's like double click it. Okay, drag from entry, double click movement, drag your BS underscore locomotion. Okay, that is a blueprint, to be honest. I could potentially rename it to the BS underscore locomotion. It's more readable. Okay, there we go. So let's, I guess, double connect my state machine here. And then we double click this. Entry is in my locomotion. I'm going to double click that. Okay, next up, on the left side of your screen, drag it and then, okay, drag and drop it on the green speed pin of the output node. Green speed pin. I don't see a speed pin. Ah, I know I had to name it speed, right? Pretty sure that I had to name it something from here. Okay, I see that moving, so that part's working. I had to go to my BS underscore locomotion. I need to change this. Okay, use grid. Hold up, let me check something. There we go. My name is gonna be speed. Horizontal axis speed. Now if I go here. Okay, let's go to my locomotion. There we go. So it's supposed to be my speed pin. I'm gonna go ahead and break this link, add a speed pin. Now if I compile. Okay, there we go. That makes so much more sense. I'm glad I kind of remembered this part. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to my map here. That is my player character. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say find my animation. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and set this to my AVP underscore Hannah. And use animation blueprint is correct as well. And in class is that. All I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is, excuse me guys, let's say add a mesh to it. So I'm gonna go to my meshes section. I'm gonna scroll a little down. I'm gonna add a skeleton mesh of my Hannah for export. And now we can hit Control S to save the code. Let's save everything real quick. So there we go. Okay, and then let's run the code. Oh wow, I keep running regardless. Okay, my run animation is still executing even though I'm not really executing it myself. It keeps running. Okay, let me say it. Okay, I keep running. Let me just say something like my animation keeps on playing even though I am not running. And when I run, it keeps playing like we're not in sync. Okay, let's send it. Okay, what? Honestly, I'm trying to get this thing to work. Like, I want my animation to run, but I want it to stop as well. Like, I want it to only run while I'm clicking my W in my keyboard. Interesting. Okay, let's see. It sounds like your facet is stuck open to term. Your ground speed variables are resetting to 0. Blend space. Here's the 2-minute fix. The logic fix in the event graph. So I gotta go to my event graph. I do see this running continuously. If she walks while you aren't touching your keyboard, the code thinks you're still moving in the event graph. Look at your vector node. Check while the player playing the game. Look at the ground speed if that number is not 0. While playing ground speed. Okay, well my ground speed does not have a number to. Okay, it is set to 0. If it is not 0, when you stop, the logic is likely pulling the wrong place. Fix, make sure your get velocity node is connected to the try get spawn. It is connected to the try get spawn. Okay, and not the static mesh or something else. The slider fix, blend space. If your speed variable is correctly hitting 0, but she's still walking, your blend space is set up to walk at all speeds. Open your BS underscore locomotion. Okay. Oh no, how did that happen? There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say hit Control S to save the code. I'm gonna make sure that I save everything here. Let me just go ahead and run the program. Okay, I still kind of run. Okay, fixed. Open your BS underscore locomotion. Look at the 0.0 mark on the left side. I do see 0.0 mark on the left side. But click on that dot and look in the details panel. Click on that dot, look in the details panel. Change the aim speed or play rate for that specific point to be 0. Change the what speed? The aim speed. Let's go with ANIM. Aim speed. Okay, change the aim speed or play rate. So axis to scale up, horizontal or vertical. Okay, let's go with something like play rate. Nope. Aim speed. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I didn't need this stuff. The sync, the legs are moving faster than the ground. Open your character blueprint on the camera. Click character movement component. Search for maximal speed. Set it to be 600. Manually type 0 for the ground speed. Manually type this. Okay, well, I think I could go ahead and send a few screenshots there real quick. So I'm going to go with Vinod Shift S because I don't really get why is my character kind of still moving. Okay, let's paste it. Because, I mean, it did not move. I know I don't need these extra parts for, I'm kind of positive that I don't need these extra parts here. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and paste that there. Let's go to my next tab. Okay, active for these many seconds. Something should be messed up in my locomotion. I'm pretty sure something is wrong here. Gonna go ahead and paste it there, and then I'm gonna go to my state machine, which is my locomotion. I'm gonna go with Windows Shift S, take a picture here, and let's paste it. Now, actually, instead of me blindly reading that stuff, let me just grab it here so you guys can actually see what I'm reading as well. Okay, is all of this correct, question mark? Because I might actually get a whole entire Word doc of instruction that I can always look at when doing this stuff. Okay, you've done an amazing job. Look at your screenshots. You've successfully done all that. Here's some safe inspection for your words. Hold up, let me just grab all that down. Go to map player. If she doesn't move, go to your character blueprint, check mesh, make sure anim class is set to ABP_Hannah. Okay. The event graph. Status perfect. You have the wide execution line connecting the update anim set route. Okay, pulling. Status correct. The entry leads directly into your locomotion state. It's simple and clean. The blend space node image status perfect. Nah, bro's not developing. Goons game, guys, developing Goons game is kind of crazy. That said, status with a node, you have green dots. Okay. Go to map, press play. If she doesn't move, it's quite the opposite. She actually only moves. You know what? I think I got it. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go to, let's say, my, this isn't my player, is it? I want to go to my player class, which is apparently going to be my C/C++ classes. Right here, I'm going to right click. Let's go ahead and open it as a blueprint. Here's the thing, I don't really want to open it as a blueprint. Fine, I guess it's fine. I'm positive I can find it right here. It's a very simple fix. I know that much. Wait, what is the C up there? What is the C doing here? ABP_Hannah. Okay, there is just one. So I'm gonna go there. That is my anim class. You know what? I think what's messing up right now is not any of my logic. The logic is correct. Is maybe because I changed my locomotion's name. Like, I'm still walking for some reason. I gotta see why. And it's not kind of even like how it was yesterday. Okay, I think I got it actually. I might go to my, and up here I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna delete all. Then let's wait for it all to delete. This is gonna delete my BS_locomotion and everything related to it. And then if I were to go to my content, I want to go to my right click. Let's add a new folder called channel. Okay, this time I'm pretty sure that I'll actually get it correct. Okay, because this is something that you need some practice on to actually get it working. But I think I've got enough. Okay, because I've imported everything correctly, so that's not an issue here. I got this, I got that, they're all correct as well. Okay, guys, now I'm going to use a really high IQ trick up here. Let me say something like, I see, can you create me a, let's say, instructions or a set of instructions, okay, from step 1 to the last step, so I can keep referring to it. There we go, and then let's send it, because I'm pretty sure that we do need to, whatchamacallit, create our out. I mean, we need to have an output pose and whatchamacallit, even a state machine, but then something inside that was missing. I think because I changed my locomotion to BS underscore locomotion, that did kind of mess things up, but I don't know much. I gotta actually look that up. Phase 1, open a blueprint and then entry stuff. Okay, phase 2. I mean, they didn't really tell me to name it something much, but I guess I can name it. It wouldn't hurt that much. I'm just gonna get in my other window so I can kind of read the instructions as I go through. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and extend it from here. There, so apparently what I gotta do for phase 1 is open your animation blueprints. This is pretty easy. I'm gonna go to animation blueprints. Oh, wait, it might be that I may need to open the animation blueprint from here. I think that might be one issue, but I think it's the same exact thing, to be honest. Let's go with something like AVP underscore Hannah. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and double click that. Let's grab that up here. Okay, now I do see my output pose. Right click, try get pawn. So in my event graph, I'm going to go ahead and right click and go with try get pawn owner. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that. From my try get pawn owner, drag the return value and get velocity. I'm going to drag my return value and get my velocity. I think I spelled get wrong. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get my velocity. Making sure everything is correct, I'm going to drag from my velocity and add a vector length. Making sure everything is correct, I'm going to add my vector length. Okay. And then once I'm done with the vector length, right click the return value pin from your vector length and select promote to variable. So I'm going to go ahead and promote this to a variable, which variable is going to be called ground speed. I'm going to right click, I'm going to rename. Let's go with GROUND SPEED. Okay, perfect. And then once I'm done with that, the facet, connect the white execution arrow from the blueprint update animation into your set of ground speed node. So from your blueprint update animation, this is my event blueprint update animation. I'm gonna grab that and connect it here. I didn't know that part is correct, to be honest, but yeah. Return value, I don't think I gotta connect this, right? I was just curious that I wasn't gonna connect that. Okay, that's it. Once I'm done with that, it's time for phase 2, the blend space motion. I'm gonna make sure everything is saved. Always save your work. I'm gonna go to, let's say, my content drawer, and let's go to content, right click animation. I'm gonna go ahead and load in, let's say, a blend space animation for my Hannah for export skeleton. In my skeleton, okay, this is going to be my blend space. Let's go with my Hannah underscore blend space. There we go. Okay, should I go with blend underscore space? Ah, it's fine. Okay, and then inside it, select it inside the blend space, which again, I'm going to go ahead and double click. OCD. There we go. Change the horizontal axis to name to speed and max axis to 600. Change the horizontal, so I'm going to go with HORIZONTL. Okay, oh, I got to type horizontal. This is going to be speed, SPEED. There we go. And then my maximum access value is going to be set to 600.0. Because honestly, in Unreal Engine, the maximum speed someone can walk to is 600. Actually, the regular walk speed is 600. If you want to add sprint, you can move it up to like 1200 or something. But you guys could always tweak that stuff up. That's it. Change the horizontal axis name to speed. Did that. Drag and drop your idle animation to the 0.0 mark on the timeline. I'm gonna drag my idle animation. Okay. to the timeline. Well, I guess it's that. I don't really have an idle animation, so I'm just gonna go with this. I might set that to 0, honestly. Okay, drag your walk animation. Should I set this to 0 here in that case? And then let's go to my walk animation, which is going to be set to 600. That is set to how much? Oh wow, both are set to 600. Okay, next up, drag your walk animation tip. If you don't have idle, walk animation 0, and change the sample play rate to 0 in the details panel. I don't really see a details panel. Okay, so that is my details panel. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. Okay, I think that might be the issue, that I didn't have an idle animation. If you don't have idle, put walk at 0.0 and change its sample play rate to samples. Is this the rate scale? No. Walk speed 600. Okay, I think because I don't have an idle animation, so wait, what do I do? I set this to be both. What did I change to 0? That's not set to 0. That's not set to 0 either. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and just grab this up here. I didn't want to open my Solution Explorer. I'm going to get that there. And let me say something like, since I do not have an idle animation. I should have actually created the idle animation. I feel kind of bad now. Okay, let's see. No, sweet, you're missing the free stake opener BS underscore locomotion. Find the green dot slash diamond at the 0 mark on the left. Okay, the details panel. Look for sample play rate change 1.0 to 0. Okay, sample details and then play rate. My details panel is empty. Let's go with something like sample. Is it going to be my rate scale? Shift S, let's take a picture. Because this might be the issue why I couldn't see that before. Let me go ahead and grab plot back up here. Let's paste it and say, do you mean rate scale question mark? Because my details panel is empty. Excuse me, guys. And then let's run the code. Analyzing image, exactly your screenshot has this stuff, blah blah blah. Free stick, find your first entry speed. Looking right below your rate scale. Change it to 0. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Rate scale is gonna be set to 0. 0.0. Okay, well, it does not really go down to 0, but what the, I see one rate scale here for my sample smoothing. I see one here for my sample. I see 2 rate scales. I didn't really need to do that last time. Let me say that I see 2 rate scales. One more symmetry check. Make sure the entry for the 600 rate is scale at 1.0. This way, at 0 speed, the animation is frozen. Fake idle at 600 speed, the animation plays at full speed. Normal walk. Okay, but let me just say something like, I see 2 rate scale. Should I set both to 0.01? I cannot set it to 0. I did not need this last time though. I gotta ask that. Why did I not need it last time and why did I need it this time? Okay, you definitely want to set both to 0. Unreal is fighting you. Keep that a single one. Set it to 0. Alright, here's the thing. Why is it that, okay, if I change one rate scale, the other rate scale actually changes as well? So it's not this. What if I grab that? I can't really grab that in this place, right? That is invalid. Huh. I see a skeleton tree which I will not be needing. I see this. I see that, and I see that. I didn't need this before. Why do I need it right now? Could it be this? Sport enum, then this is blend space. Interesting. Let's see. I do have my loop on. It's not the loops is issue here. Let's go there. Horizontal speed, vertical speed. Okay, I think I'll just go with this for now. I'm gonna see if I want to make any changes later on. I want to see if this works up first. I'm gonna go here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll all the way up. Before I set any of that stuff, let's go up here. Okay, the enum graph, set variable, connect the bind space results. So I think I was in step 3, right? So walk animation 600, save and close. Phase 3 in your ABP, go to enum graph, add a state machine, name it local motion, connect the state machine to the output pole, double click the state machine, drag a wire, add state, name it to idle/walk. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to my enum graph, let's add a state machine. I'm going to connect my state machine to my result. I'm going to double click my state machine. I'm going to drag a wire off an entry. I'm going to add a new state. Let's name it LOCO. Local motion. I'm going to double click my local motion. I have my result here. I'm going to go ahead and do something for my results. Let's read the instructions from here. Double click that idle/walk state. Local motion. Connect to the state machine, double click the state machine, go inside it. This is gonna call. Oh, okay, I see. We had a tiny bit of miscommunication up here. Actually, misunderstanding, not communication. I'm gonna go there. My state machine is gonna be renamed to, let's say, locomotion. Then I'm gonna double click that. This is gonna be called idle/walk. And again, it's not really, we can name it anything for we want. I mean, idle/walk. Yeah, we could name it anything for all we care, but then having better naming conventions does actually help later on when understanding the stuff. Okay, and then in idle/walk, double click that, drag blend space asset into the grid from variables bottom left, drag ground speed, connect blend space to result. Drag the blend space. I see speed, I see normal, and drag the ground speed. This is going to be get ground speed. And then this is going to be connected to that. That is going to be connected to that. Okay, and then what's the next thing? Just save and compile, connect the result. Step 4, the final handshake, the character. This is the part of the game which brain uses. Open your character blueprint. The one you move with the skeletal mesh component, top left, the details is panel, right side, find animation. Okay, open your character blueprint, select the mesh component, details is panel, use animation blueprint, compile and save. Phase 5, troubleshooting checklist, sliding the status, check execution event graph, okay, deposing. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and compile. That should apparently move me. Then I'm gonna hit Control S. I'm gonna go ahead and move on here. I'm gonna, let's say, grab that there. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my mesh components. In my mesh components, what is it that I wanna add? Okay, do I wanna add a skeletal mesh or do I wanna add a place material override? I think I'll add a skeletal mesh for my HANA for export. Okay, so that is my mesh, and then I'm gonna set this to my ABP underscore HANA's class. Why does a C come there? But that's fine. And then I'm gonna go to my players instance. That's fine. I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code. Fingers crossed. Let's run the program. Okay, why do I move? Like, what difference did I do last time? Hold up, guys. Let me just open my yesterday's stream real quick. Because I'm so confused. Everything is exactly the same as what I did last stream, but I'm still messing up for some reason. Okay, let's see. So there's that, there's that. Alright guys, hold up. Let me just grab this here. Okay, let's sort of kind of watch this part. So what did I do last time to avoid the mistake? Of course, there are ads, guys. I hate this part. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, so if I were to go here, okay, so I don't move here. That is good. Let's just double speed this real quick. Okay, so I do not move here, that's nice. And then I go up there, and then how do I add loop to it? Okay, I think this is a bit too late, but it's fine. This is where I was deleting it. There we go. I'm gonna go a tad bit back. Okay, so return value. Okay, wait, let's go a little bit back. I think we're almost there. There we go. So I'm right here. This is going to be my HANA for export with walk rig. Okay, so that is going to be my walk rig up there. And then that's going to be named as app underscore HANA practice. And then I'm going to go here. Let's go ahead and I'm assuming a right click. We add a try get bond owner. Okay, we add and then we get our velocity. We get vector length, and then we drag it. Okay, we promote it to a variable. Okay, we name a variable to something like ground speed. Okay, and then once we're done with ground speed, assuming I take a picture here, right? Okay, there. And then we go to blend space. So I'm gonna go to animation, blend space. I'm gonna blend space my, and for export. Wait. I think I got it. This is where we might mess. Okay, this might be where I'm messing up actually. There. I have a HANA for export to skeleton. I have a HANA for export with walk rig skeleton. So I gotta get a regular skeleton and a rig skeleton. Okay, that actually might be the issue here. I did delete my regular box animation, so should I import it twice? One with a static mesh and one with a rig, or should I only select my rig? Okay, I think it's a Blender issue. It's none of my programming issue that I got here. Okay, so it's a export error, not a logic error. What is wrong here? Why did that just lag? Okay, hello, I think my Unreal Engine is actually kind of tripping. There we go. Okay, so it's none of this problem here. I have my HANA blend space. So I'm zooming in my skeletal mesh. I have two meshes. I have my skeletal mesh, which is my static. I have my anim, which is my animation, and then I have HANA for export with physics, HANA for skeletal. I would have grabbed that there. This is going to be my HANA for export. Okay, so I'm thinking that I might want to add something to this. I'm going to delete that. Let's try adding my skeletal mesh. That is apparently supposed to be moving. Okay, why do I have a small bit of stop in me? Okay, so I wanted to continuously move. I have like a tiny bit of stop. So let's see, I have the HANA for export too. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. I'm thinking for my player character, let's see. So in my static mesh or in my mesh, I want to remove that mesh. Wait, let's remove that, and I want to add an actual. Excuse me, guys. I want to add a literal static mesh. Let's go with something like static, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and add the static mesh. I'm gonna go with something like oh wow, I don't see my static mesh here. Isn't my mesh considered a static mesh? I think I got it, guys. I think I got it. I'm gonna open my Blender again. It may be because I exported everything at the same time and not just my rig individually. So the first export that we gotta do is gonna just be my entire static mesh. So let's go to File, let's go to Export. I wanna export as a QLF file, where I'm gonna name it something like HANA for export. I'm gonna make sure that I delete this HANA for export from here, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say actually go to Files again and save it again. I'm gonna go FBX. In the include, selected objects is correct, visible, okay, and then transform nothing, in my data nothing, in my animation, this is not animation, so I'm just gonna hit export. That is gonna save that. And now to save my rig, I'm just gonna go with my rig. Let's go to something like export. I want to export as a QLF file. This is going to be HANA for export with walk rig, with walk underscore rig. And then let's export it. This is only my rig. Now here's the thing, before I really exit the whole thing, there's a small thing that I'm concerned about here. Let me firstly just delete this. Okay, let's wait for it to delete. Okay, the small thing that I was actually kind of started concerned about was that I did not think that I can load in raw rigs, which means I gotta give it a try first. Let's go with my walk rig. I'm pretty sure it's gonna give me an error, right? It should give me an error. There we go. So it gave me a failed error. That's one reason I did not really include my rig. Delete that. I have a QLB. I want to give my rig a nose. I could go with shift. I should go up there with shift. And I'm gonna hit control, shift, deselect that. Oh god, let's just go with control. Why did I even bother clicking shifts? And this selects everything. And now I'm gonna go to file. I'm gonna go to export as a QLF file. This is gonna be with walk rig. Okay, and then in my transform, selected objects, and let's export. One is a plain model, one is a rig. I'm gonna exit. Fine, let's say why not. I'm gonna leave my blend here. I'm gonna go up here, right click, create a new folder, and I'm gonna call that HANA. And guys, there's one good thing, I'm getting so much practice with this. Did I somehow open my map again? I did this mistake once and I fell for it again. Okay, let's go with my regular QLB file. That is my regular QLB file, which I'm gonna go ahead and import. And this is going to be my QLB file with my skeletal mesh that I'm going to import. Importing. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab both my chats up here. Now the moment of truth. Let me go ahead and right click. I'm going to create an animation blueprint. I don't want to create it from here. I could potentially create an animation blueprint from here. It's going to be the exact same thing, to be honest. This is going to be HANA for blend with export. I see two exports here. I don't know why do I see two exports. This is going to be ABP underscore HANA. And then we're going to go ahead and double click this. I see this. I'm going to go ahead and add a state machine. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and name this something like locomotion, and then I'm going to connect this to the results here. I'm going to double click my locomotion. I see my entry. I'm going to create a new state machine and call it something like idle/walk. And then let's double click that as well. I see my output pin here where I'm going to go ahead and let's say create a variable. Let's go to my events tab first. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go with try get pawn owner. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my velocity. Okay, and then from my velocity, I'm going to go ahead and get my vector length. Okay, and then from my vector length, I'm going to right click, promote to variable, and I'm going to name it ground speed. Okay, that is going to be my regular ground speed, which is going to be connected to here. There we go. Okay, and then next up, now I can move on to my idle/walk here with my ground speed. I'm going to go ahead and let's say go to content browser. I'm going to go with animation and I'm going to create a one-dimensional blend. This is going to be for my HANA for export with rig. I'm going to go ahead and call this something like, what do I want to call it? Let's think. HANA underscore blend. Okay, this is going to be my one-dimensional blend, which I'm going to go ahead and double click. In my one-dimensional blend, I'm going to go ahead and let's say, let's see. I'm going to firstly type horizontal. Okay, in my horizontal, I'm going to change the name to speed. I'm going to change my maximum speed value to 600.0. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab my HANA for blend. First is going to be for my idle walk. Speed 0, that is set to none. And then I'm going to have one for 600, which is going to be max speed. Okay, perfect. And once I'm done with that, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and save it all. So I'm going to go ahead and save selected. Move on to my ABP underscore Hannah. Now in my animations graph, I'm going to go ahead and grab my ground speed. I'm going to get my ground speed. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my blend here, where my speed is going to be connected to my ground speed. And that is going to be connected to my result value. If I compile, I can go ahead and walk now. However, walking is not enough. I gotta go ahead and find a loop. Loop is done. Okay, well, that's basically the basics of this part. I'm gonna go to my player character. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and add a static mesh. Let's go with Hannah. Okay, we have a separate crop, we have a separate body, we have a separate top. I did not join squad here. So I might add a skeletal mesh. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna go to my mesh. This is gonna be my ABP underscore Hannah. Why is there a C here? I have a strong gut feeling that it's not gonna work. It works, but it has a tiny bit of mistake here. Okay, let me type skeletal. I see my skeletal mesh here. I'm gonna go up here, head up a walk. And then is there anything else? My instance for animation has that, that's correct. Okay, I'm gonna hit Control S. I'm gonna go ahead and run. Okay, what is wrong here? Why do I keep running even though I still keep running even though I'm not actually clicking W? Let's say I deleted all my progress and started again from scratch. Let's say from scratch, but I keep running even though I do not click W. Okay, not lick, click. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and send. Let's see. Yo, how's it going? How do you know, bro? Still here. Appreciate you joining the stream. It's actually been a while. Okay, that's the spirit. The logic check. Go to your ABP. Try get pawn owner. Is it connected to get velocity? It is connected to everything. Default checks and ABP. Ground speed bottom list. Details panel. Make sure it's set to 0. So ground speed in the bottom left of the list. If it's set to 600 by default, she will start running the moment the game begins. The blend space freeze again. Since you started from scratch, you might have forgotten to reapply fake idle trick we did. Open blend space. Click the point at 0.0. Set rate scale to 0.0 or 0.001. This ensures that if there is a tiny bit of noise in the movement, she stays still at that 0.0. Quick debug tip. While the game is running, look at the ABP underscore event graph. You should see a small number floating under the ground speed. When you stop moving, what does the number 0 drop down to? If it's a 600, the get velocity isn't finding the character node properly. Okay, I guess I'm gonna grab that here. And then let me just grab that back there. Let me just grab that there. Yeah, I want to be able to see my window while I'm trying to debug this part. Okay, so my max velocity, let's go up here. I want to change that to be 0. It is set to 0. That is set to 600, but that is common sense up there. And then here, my ground speed. Am I missing a small detail here? Ground speed is set to 0. That is correct. Then I see a none. Okay, and then I see none here. Okay, let's see. So rate scale, that is the next thing that we can go ahead and check. So I'm gonna go here to my rate scale. Let's see. I guess I'm gonna type rate scale real quick. Although I did not need the rate scale. last time. Uh, I see rate scale Hannah for export with what is this? You know what? Let's set it to be 0 and let's set that to be 0. I am completely static now. Okay, let's set that to 1.0. I think there are two. This is blend samples. Okay, let's try this. Control S. I'm gonna just try it real quick. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna go ahead and run the code. When I walk. Okay, perfect. It works. It was the rate scale all along. The only difference is that's going to be 0 and that's going to be 1. Control S. Now let's run the code. This is one of the most chopped walk animations that I've seen so far. Like, what? You know what? You know why do I think it looks a little chopped here? This is why we don't have our main project jeopardized. I had my main project jeopardized. There's no way. Oh no. What up? How did I have my main project? If I wanted to do that test, there's no way. Alright, it's fine, we're good, we're still good. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. I was gonna go ahead and add different animations, different rigs here, so let's do that. I got the logic in check, we're good. Only thing is that I gotta be smooth. Walk and walk and walk. So I'm here, I'm gonna go to 30. There, now in 30, I'm gonna go ahead and move back on to pose mode. I'm gonna select one at a time. Let's get myself straight. I'm gonna go to the y-axis. I'm gonna go with RY. Get my legs straight. And then I'm gonna go here, RY. Get my legs straight. Okay, I think my legs is pretty straight. I'm gonna go to the y-axis now. Let's select this. I'm gonna go ahead and hit RY. Get my arm straight. I'm gonna select the bottom part. I'm gonna go with RY. Get my arm straight. Let's go to my, whoa, my entire back is kind of, I'm gonna go with something like Z. Okay, wait, hold up, RX. Okay, I think when I go with RX, I want it to be like a bit more natural. So I'm gonna go here, RX. Gonna make sure that my neck is not completely broken. RX. Let's go with RX again. There we go. Then I'm gonna set RX here too, RX. Okay, do I need to go with RG? Just to make sure my neck is unbroken. And then I'm gonna select this part of my arm. I'm gonna go with RY. Get it sort of straight. And then I'm gonna go there, RY, get it sort of straight. Okay, now I'm kind of forward, so I'm gonna click my root here. I'm gonna go with RY. Okay, root kind of moves my entire body, so instead of root, I'm gonna go with my spine. And let's go to the y-axis. I'm gonna go with RY. Get my back, and then my neck, RY. Alright, my neck is not touching my back at all. Maybe I want to go with shift, select that, select that. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go with RY. Move both. Okay, I might click RG. Let me just hide my hair real quick. It's getting in the way. Let's go with So like that, I'm gonna go with RG. Then let's get it back. Whoops, I didn't want to hide my rig. You know what? I think it's making it really hard. Mm, This is my initial position. I want everything to stay. You know what? Let me just hide all the accessories and everything. There you go. They all keep getting in the way. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's say check my positions. I have my x-axis, my w, x, y, z. I want this, everything here. Oh wow, I did not know we can extend that way. Okay, can I go with A? Nope. I want, okay, let's go with A. I want this. I want to copy that, Control C. Can I paste it here? I'm 30. Tell me it can have, oh, it can actually work like that. Although, why am I kind of bent? Like, hold on. Wait, if I actually knew it could have worked like that, it would have been so much better. Let's go to the y-axis. Oops, let's go to the y-axis. I'm gonna go there. Wait, in that case, that kind of fixed it, didn't it? Let me check if my hair and everything is aligned with this. Let's go to the y-axis. Guys, I don't know why was I spending so long if I could have just done this. I could have just copied the stuff and it would have worked. And the delay could be because this is set to 50. Let's set that to 30. This ends my entire animation. It does, right? Pretty sure it does. I'm gonna leave that as my main blend. I'm just gonna save a copy first. This is gonna be Hannah for blend. Let's go with Hannah. Hannah underscore form. Let's title case it all with walk underscore rig. This is my walk rig. Okay, I'm gonna grab Claude up here just for pick. Let me say something like, you know what? Instead of Claude, I'm just gonna go ahead and use Gemini. I've been using it. Let me say something like, let's say, so I have a walk rig. Would it make sense to create a idle rig as well, and then import it as a separate rig? Because or should I create all rigs first and then export it? Okay, let's see, because I do gotta create my walk rig, my idle rig as well. Okay, in the world of 3D, Unreal Engine usually uses the world animation. Okay, the movement. How did I get so high up? Okay, let's scroll. Okay, there we go. Using the world animation for the movement and the rig bones and the inside character. To answer your question, you only need one rig, one set of bones, but you need many animations. Okay, here's the best way. The one rig rule. You should never have a separate rig for idle, a separate rig for walk. If you do, Unreal will think they belong to different characters and you won't be able to blend them together. The goal, one skeleton, the rig, that stays the same. The content, different animation files. You should export them should you export them separately? Yes, this is usually much easier. Most professional animators do this way. They export the character, export your mesh with the rig, no animations. Export your mesh with the rig, no animations as your main file. What if I have rig? Then what will I do? Okay, I can actually do something about that. Export walk. Export just the bones moving in the walk cycle as FBX or QLB file. Export idle, just the bones in the idle pose when you import them into Unreal Engine. You tell Unreal, hey, this idle animation belongs to Hannah underscore skeleton. Why exporting separately is better? Okay, well, clear your timeline, create your idle animation. Okay, well, let me see something like, excuse me, I did import my rigs only, let's go with something like rigs only once, but UE5 did not let me import it for some reason. I don't know if I imported it the wrong way. Exported the wrong way from Blender. There we go. And the reason I'm practicing in my default, like in one of my old Unreal Engine projects and not my main project, because I want to get some practice before I really implement this part in my main project. It's going to be kind of cool once my main project actually get these things. It's very common for Blender and Unreal Engine to have a little disagreement during the file export, usually because of the checkbox and Blender are scaling. If you're exporting in Blender, make sure Unreal Engine 5 accepts it smoothly. Go to File, Export FBX file, check these boxes on the right side of the export window. Include select armature and mesh, hold shift to select both transforms that apply FBX all. Okay, wait, let me see. What if I wanted to export a QLB file? Was it a QLG? I think it was a QLB file. Let's see, exporting as a QLB. GLB, wait a minute. GLB. Or GLB. It's actually becoming very popular because it keeps its texture and details packed inside nicely in one file. However, Blender and Convention have specific handshakes for GLB animations. A bit tricky if you want to export your idle/walk as GLB from Blender. Follow these steps. Go to File, Export GLTF 2.0, which is basically GLB. In the Settings panel, Format Binary GLB. Include selected objects. Make sure you have your mesh and your armature selected in the viewport. Transform. Check plus Y up. Unreal will convert this automatically. Animations. Check animations. Check limit to playback range. So you don't export 250 frames of nothing. Critical. Uncheck the NLA track. Unreal often fails to see animations. This. Check export deformation, bones only. Exporting GLB into Unreal Engine. Okay, GLB, Windows, import type, select skeletal mesh, select if you already have hand animation. Import animations. Okay, so why it fails if Unreal Engine doesn't import it? Root bone. Wait, since the recommendation, use GLB for your main character. Import the colors, use FBX for separate animations, walk, jump, down. Okay, let me see. I see. Okay. So, when importing animations, when importing animations, exporting, I mean, should I only select my rig question mark? It's for FBX. Oh, my throat. Okay, yes, for a separate animation export, like jump, select only the armature, the rig. This is the professional way to do it. That makes so much more sense now. Since you already have the character body, the mesh in Unreal Engine, you do not need to import the body over and over again. You only need the instructions. There we go. The animation only FBX export, select the armature, export file settings, include selected objects, object type, highlight armature only, hold shift and click others are selected. Hold shift and click if others are selected, dislike them. Transforms that apply scaling to all. FBX, crucial for keeping the size consistent, armature on check. Add leaf bone. This prevents Unreal from adding extra end bone that breaks the skeleton. Check only deform bones. Make animation, keep this checked, blah blah blah, yada yada. The animation only for Unreal Engine. I think I see, I think I see, I think I see, I think I see. Yeah, I said that so many times. Okay, so as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. I'm gonna go ahead and open this file. Um, uh, okay, let's exit this file. I'm gonna go ahead and open that file. Oh God, please don't tell me this has a lot of meshes. Please don't tell me. Please don't. Want to check my walk animation? There, nice. Oh, that why does it keep playing? There we go. Alright, I guess that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go save. Why not? I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. Let's extend that. And now, first of all, first and foremost, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go here, there, that. Only my animation is what's going to be selected. I'm going to go with file. I'm going to go with export. Export as a GLF file, which is going to be in my desktop. I'm going to go to my Calamity 2 QLB files. So this is going to go ahead and be deleted. Let's delete that. This is without my walk break. I'm going to go ahead and might as well. Okay, there. Let's add that. Okay, now that I've added this, I'm gonna change this. This is gonna be my HANA for import without rig. Without rig. Okay, my GLB files, I'll take a hit and I'll go with like without rigs. And oh my gosh, my file name is wrong. Let's go with GLB instead of QLB. What even is QLB? GLB makes more sense now. Speaking of which, now I'm gonna go with HANA rig. I'm gonna create another folder. This is gonna be called, let's say, CALAMITY Calamity 2 rigs. In my Calamity 2 rigs, I'm gonna go ahead and create another folder called HANA_rigs. For my HANA_rigs, I'm gonna go ahead and create a rig for HANA. This is gonna be all FBX files, so I will go ahead and select that. I'm gonna go to File. I'm gonna go ahead and export as an FBX. I select the wrong file type, did that. There. Now for my FBX, this is where I'm gonna just kind of reiterate over the instructions that Gemini gave me to select. Where firstly I gotta go to File, Export FBX, include all objects selected, of course, and then apply scaling, FBX all, apply scaling, FBX all, selected objects, and then we have a batch mode. We have a patch mode also. Apply scaling, FBX all. And then we got object types, highlight, armature, only hold shift and click. If others are selected, then deselect them. By settings, FBX all, armature. Uncheck, add leaf bone. This prevents Unreal from adding extra end bones that breaks the skeleton. Okay, so under armature, add leaf bone is going to be deselected. I wish I could like save my settings. Bake animation, keep this checked. Bake animation. Da, da, da. Do you guys see bake animation somewhere? Da, da, da. I see include, I see transform. Okay, I'm gonna go one at a time here now. Because I want to see my bake animation. I'm assuming bake animation is always, I see NLA strips. There. This is correct. I'm just gonna go here. Let's go with Windows Shift S. I'm gonna say, is my settings correct or are my settings correct? Let's go there. Let's paste it and say, are my settings correct? Okay, because I will save these settings later on that I don't need to always check this up. You're getting close. Exporting the settings to fix primary bone axis. Currently your y-axis, you have primary as y-axis, secondary as x-axis fixed. Change primary bone to x-axis, secondary bone to y-axis. Why Blender and Unreal Engine speak different directions? If you don't swap these, your character might look like their face planting or laying on their back. Okay, add a leaf bone. Currently this is unchecked, which is good. We fixed, double click that. The farm bones is checked. Okay, that looks, this keeps it very clean. Once you got perfect, applying settings, selected objects, animation. In Blender, select only armature, sport, FBX. Okay, so primary x-axis, secondary y-axis. Okay, so only deform bones. And then in animation, so my primary should be x-axis and secondary should be y-axis. Animation of px. Okay, that is correct. I'm gonna go up here and check my settings one last time. Okay, let's see. So we have consistency. Double check that only deform bone is checked. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to export. Before I export, this is going to be Hannah underscore walk underscore rig. Then let's export. I think it's pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now I'm going to go here. Let's find my Hannah, right click. Alas, we're deleting them all over again. This time I'm positive that it's gonna work. And firstly, for the record, what's wrong with my freaking throat? It's kind of sore. Hope I don't catch a cold again. That's it, and guys, when I said I'm gonna catch a cold, that was a joke, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Okay, and then now I Hannah walk rig. Shouldn't that be under my rigs? This is gonna be rigs. That. Let's drop it here. So I have one, and then I have three in general. This is my Calamity meshes. I have my Calamity QLB file. I have my Calamity 2 rigs. Calamity 2 meshes, Calamity 2 QLB files, Calamity 2 rigs. I won't need my meshes. I'm going to be needing my QLB files and my rigs. Therefore, I'm going to drag my QLB files here. I'm just going to rig there. What up? Maybe under my contents section, I'm going to go here. Let's grab my QLB files. Blender FBX. This could be from my rig. This could be from QLBs. Hold on, guys. I'm calculating something. Fine. I guess in the QLB files, I'm just going to go ahead and drag my Calamity to QLB files. Trying to keep them organized. In my FBX files, I'm going to drag my rig, which is apparently an FBX file. Or I could potentially go up here. Blender rigs. Well, Blender underscore rigs, I guess. I'm going to double click that. How do I keep falling for the same rig? Not once, not twice, like every single time. There was an issue. Show message log. Okay, I get this message log. Let's copy. Let's grab Gemini here, paste it, say I get this error when I try to export only my rig. Okay, and then let's send it. I hope that I don't reach my limit because I think I'm almost out of tokens now. Excuse me, guys. There we go. That no data to import error is classic Unreal Blender misreading. It usually happens because even though you selected the rig, the export settings are told to look for things that aren't there in your Blender. From these last screenshot object types, look at the mesh armature. Armature must be highlighted in blue if it's gray. Blender thinks you want to export nothing. That does not make much sense because I do have my rig here. Okay, selected objects. If this is checked, make sure you have the right click highlighted, the tab fix to skin object unused in the LGB editor. This happens because a GLB file expects a mesh attached to bones. When you export only bones, Unreal gets confused. The fix for animations, stop using GLB, use FBX instead. I did use FBX, the guaranteed success export settings. Include selected all object types. Click for armature only. Make sure only one is glue. Transform, scale all, FBX all. X Y axis, add leaf bone check. Leaf bone uncheck, did that. Animation, bake animation check. Where was the bake animation? Da-da. Okay, let's fact check this last part. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go to File. I'm gonna go to Export, Export FBX, and then in my Export FBX, select the objects, and then let's see the next part. Let's see it. Object types. Click armature only. Object types is going to be armature only. Where is my object type? Oh shoot! There we go. 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 Okay, I had a small mistake. Apply scale all FBX all, then forward it's gonna be Z, up it's gonna be Y, space, yada yada, that stuff, smoothing, and then apply modifiers. Sure, I'm gonna apply modifiers, vertex. That is my geometry, and then primary is gonna be x-axis, secondary is gonna be y-axis. Animation, I don't really see a bake hall, but I'm gonna kind of risk it real quick. I'm gonna go to desktop, I'm gonna go ahead and export FBX. Then it export my FBX. I'm pretty sure that's my FBX. I'm gonna copy that name. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna grab my FBX here. I'm gonna go ahead and rename it, paste it there. Now that I have my FBX files, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab my chat up here, and then I'm gonna grab my Unreal Engine up here. I'm gonna exit that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go under my Blender rigs. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click my Calamity 2 rigs. Whoa. Add that there. I can't add it. Fine, I guess because there's a file in a file. Okay, import. Is it just me or does it take time to actually import? I don't really see my import option anymore. Drop files here. That is preview, expand all, collapse stuff. How do you bake? I don't see a bake option. I think it's the bake that I messed up on dot. However, I do not see a bake check. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. I want to figure this out before the stream ends. Let's see, find the animation tab in your FBX export window. Okay, you should see include transform geometry animation tab. Inside the animation tab, you'll see a checkbox at the very top titled bake. Make sure it's checked. The no data of bakes. If you check that, NLA strips unchecked. NLA strips should be unchecked. Export FBX. Okay, let's see in my animation. Okay, NLA strips should be unchecked. On actions, check this. NLA checks the master checklist. So NLA strips off. This is the only things that I see here. Let's go with Windows Shift S. Let's paste it and say these are the only things that I see in my animations tab. And then let's send it. Guys, what is wrong with my throat? Is it because I was soaking wet today in the rain? Yeah, it was raining when I was going to my college. Okay, in our newest screenshot, it actually looks like the correct place in the last version of Blender. That animation check bottom bake selection has specified the menu. Okay, which you do, you have essentially turned on the bake. Why are you still getting the no data error? Fix your armature. Honestly, last time I didn't have. Try this emergency setup. Go to object mode, click your hand underscore bake, so it has an orange outline, QLE, it's axis y axis, so you check. Uncheck NLA strips. What does having the NLA strips mean? I had it checked the last time I exported. Okay, let's see what it means actually. NLA strips, non-linear animation error based. If you had NLA checked, but your animation wasn't pushed down to a strip, Blender basically sent a blank file to Unreal Engine. That's why you got the data error. I think we got ourselves our culprit here. Let's paste that. Paste that. No? Okay, I guess. Well, I guess we're gonna be doing some extra hard work. Going to rigs, going to this, gonna copy that, gonna delete that, gonna go to Control A, Control V, paste it here. And then I'm gonna open my Solution Explorer up here. Oh wow, I have 3 whole files. There's no way. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this here. And then I'm gonna exit that. I'm gonna make sure that I exit my Solution Explorer from here. I'm gonna exit my third Solution Explorer from here. I have so many open. And then I'm gonna go up there. And now we move on to our Unreal Engine. Moment of truth. Let's go to my rigs. Let's go to Hanner rigs. I can just potentially drag my entire Hanner rig here. Did this have my NLA unchecked? I'm positive it did. Why can't I export my FBX file? Okay, so I have static meshes, I have this, I have that. Skeletal, this could be my Hana for output break. Oh wow. Could I have just done that? Hana rigs. I just have my skeleton. What in the world is that? Guys, you guys can't tell me that's not one of the... Okay, that looks kind of, should I say cursed? Oh no, that's a massive rig. What in the world is this? Okay, there's something messed up with this rig. I'm pretty sure about that. Let's go to Anum. Here's the thing, last time it worked with a QLB file. So I might really push my luck just a tad bit here. You guys may be thinking, what do I mean by pushing my luck just a tad bit here? I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. Let me just go ahead and exit that, delete that. Well, I'm getting to delete squat from up here, but that's fine. So let's just manually delete everything. Let's go ahead and delete. Can I go ahead and click shift? Then I'm gonna go with delete. And I'm gonna go to materials. I'm gonna hit shift, then delete. Then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go with shift. Fine, I guess we're deleting it one at a time. This is so annoying. Calamity to QLBs can be deleted as well, for all I know. Then I'm gonna go to content. I'm gonna go to my FBX files where I don't have an FBX. I'm gonna go to my rigs. I'm gonna go back again. I might just delete my rig. Well, apparently a rig doesn't get deleted until the content inside of it is not deleted. Now we have 2 empty folders, so I should be able to do this quite easily. Then let's hit Control S. Now let's move on to my second way. I think this method is pretty much guaranteed to give me the rig. I'm gonna go with Shift, select everything, and then I'm gonna go with Control, select that. I import everything at once here using a QLB file, but I think it's a much better option if I've been doing this. Visible, transform, data, y-axis, secondary graph, I have a mesh. Apply modifiers. I can bake animation here, so I'm gonna bake animation. And then we have lighting, we have materials, we have vertex. Everything is good here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my animations. Let's make it somewhere where I have access of. Got access here. This is my QLB files. This is my calamities QLB. That's fine. Just need it to work for once. If it works, then we can later on organize it all we want. I'm just gonna drag my QLB out here because why not? This is importing my QLB files. This is my FBX. This is my Calamity 2 QLB files, which has got my skeletal mesh, but it does not have my static mesh. This is where I add my static mesh. To do so, okay, I was just thinking. Just kind of busy in my own thoughts. Okay, we're going with our static mesh now. Let's go with another QLB file. This is gonna be hold on a minute. Hell? Isn't that what I just exported? What in the world did I just import then? Guys, this is testing my patience really bad right now. Okay, I guess we keep adding stuff here. Gotta make sure you delete everything. Guys, I am not trained to be this patient. Let's delete that. Gonna delete that. This should delete pretty easily. And now we're gonna import our literal mesh here of our Hannah underscore final. Let's just leave the name to be final. I don't want it to be too fancy, I guess. Hannah underscore final got a skeletal mesh, which got its animations. It's got a skeletal mesh. It's got an animation sequence, which is my anim. Skeletal mesh. I'm gonna drag it there. I'm gonna run. Nice. Skeletal mesh doesn't move. Anim mesh should be able to move. Perfect. Finally, things are going as I'm trying to understand it to go. Now that we're done exporting everything, I'm gonna finally move on to my contents browser, and then let's say I'm gonna go ahead and grab my chat up here again because I absolutely forgot. Glad I had no chats. And now I'm gonna go under, let's say, I'm just gonna right click. It's fine. I can do this anytime. This is going to be my Hannah underscore. There we go. Okay, it's gonna be my skeleton. Not my anim just yet, so I'm gonna go with ABP underscore Hannah. I'll go with practice because this is for practice. I see my output pose. I'm gonna go to my event graph, and my event graph, I'm gonna go ahead and get my owner. I'm gonna try to get my pawn owner. In this, I'm gonna extend my return value. I'm gonna go ahead and get my vector velocity. I mean. What up? Get velocity. Oh my gosh, I can't spell. Get velocity. I'm gonna drag my get velocity. Let's get vector, right? Something with vector. What was it with vector? I forgot. What up, guys? Wait a minute. Just we scroll all the way up. What was it with vector? Is there my screenshot here? Nope. Wait for my second screenshot, third screenshot, fourth screenshot. Guys, I'm so stupid. I could have just gone to my images, but I guess I found it here. What does that say? I can't see squat up here. Okay, we have our ground speed up here. We have our miles. Oh god, okay, what up? That was one of the worst waste of times that I've seen. I could have just double clicked this and found my picture. much clearer too, and I'm able to zoom. Vector length, that's one thing that I forgot. Let's go with our vector length. Gotta remember that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and right click and promote to a variable and call it ground speed. Okay, once we're done with this, I'm gonna connect that to that. Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay, we got this connected. We're good, we're good. Now I move on and create a blend space. I'm gonna go animation, blend space. This is gonna be my HANA final skeleton. This is gonna be HANA underscore blend underscore space. Let's double click the blend space, why not? And then in my blend space, I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm gonna type horizontal. I'm gonna change my horizontal settings. Okay, where my name is going to be called speed. And then, oh god, my minimum access value is going to be 0 and maximum access value is going to be 600. And then my grind division is correct, my smooth time is correct, my spring is correct, that is correct, that is correct. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my A&M speed. One goes to 600, the other goes to 1. Let's get them a bit higher, why not? There we go. Okay, and then in this, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna change any of this. I'm not gonna change squat from here. Horizontal axis function is gonna be none. Okay, these settings are pretty correct. Next up, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control S to save the code, but make sure that I see everything. I'm about to move on to here. Now let's go to my A&M tab. I'm gonna go ahead and add a state machine. I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna name my state machine locomotion. And then I'm gonna connect that here. I'm gonna double click my state machine. In my entry, I'm gonna drag it off and add a new state called something like idle/walk. I'm gonna go ahead and double click my idle/walk. I see a output animation pose here, which I'm gonna go ahead and firstly put my contents as drawer, drag that here. This has speed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get my ground speed, which is gonna go ahead and be connected to my speed. This is going to be connected to that, and then if I were to compile, I can move, and I keep moving. Not bad. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say none. What does the none do? It's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say compile. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna go to my project here. I'm gonna select my player character. Okay, where my player character is gonna be having this to be my HANA underscore practice. Of course, the C always is here. And then for my skeletal mesh, I'm gonna add my HANA underscore final. That is static and it doesn't move. Then let's hit Control S. Let's run the code. I'm constantly looping. Hold on. Maybe I'm gonna go here. And we have a rate scale. I'm gonna change that to 0. And now if I run, I instantly stop and reset to my position. That's kind of fun though. If I walk, Okay, how do I increase my walk speed? Okay, that part works. Let me say something like, let's say, that part works. However, how do I reset to actually how to increase my character's speed? I'm pretty sure I know how to do that. I was just simply asking in case I messed up a little. I'm gonna go to my player character. I'm gonna go with max walk speed, which is at 600. I'm gonna go ahead and increase it up to, oh my gosh, 10,000 is a lot. 1,600. Let's run. I don't know. My animation feels a little chopped here. What if I go with 400? I'm moving way too slow. Let's go with 700. Gonna run. I have a whole stop. I don't want to stop in my dude. I just want to keep going. You know what? If I don't wanna stop in middle, I could potentially go to my pose mode. Let's go with A. Actually, let's just select my rig, and then I'm gonna go to pose mode. Then I'm gonna go with A. I want this to be right there, 27, 23. Let's set that to be in 30. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to be 30. And now I'm gonna control S. I'm gonna save as copy. Fine, I'll just save it here, I guess. Just want to test my hypothesis out. Alright, do you guys know where I saved it as a copy? Let's save as a copy. Save as copy. Let's go ahead and save as copy. Okay, because all of this can be changed anytime. Let's save as copy. Finally. I'm gonna double click my copy. I'm gonna get my copy here. Okay, and then in my copy, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add this there. I just want it to be a smooth animation. One, two, one, and two. I think I see. I'm gonna right click and delete this keyframe. Let's delete keyframe. I'm gonna go with Control C, and then let's just go ahead and paste it here. Let's Control V. One and a two and a three. Oh, one, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three, four. One, two, three. One, two, three, three, four. One, two. Have a one. Have a two. Have a three. I mean, it's not idle. It's fine. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a test. Let's give it a check. I'm gonna go to desktop. I'm just gonna go ahead and save it blindly. I'm not even gonna save it in folders and like. I'm not gonna just do that for now. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it here. I'm gonna drag my anim measure. Why is there like a pause after my animation is after my rig has been complete? Even though I want to constantly keep walking. It's a small pause. You know what? Let's add that tiny tweak here. Where the hell is my mouse? There. Let me just grab that up here real quick. Okay, so the tiny pause that I was actually talking about is about to go to my blend space. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this blend space from here. Let's go content, blend space. I'm gonna remove that blend space. Let's delete. Oh wait, no, 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 I'm not gonna delete. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna go here, animation. Let's go with view blend space. This is gonna be channel, copy, okay, channel underscore blend space. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna delete, I'm gonna go there, let's go there, let's replace reference, okay. Fine, let's save selected, and then whoa, where are the rest? And I is for practice. Replace the references, right? So apparently I should have my references replaced up here. I have my state machine, I have my idle slash walk, I got that, I got that, I got that. Okay, now hypothetically this should work. Just sort of doesn't. I'm gonna go to my character, and my character, my mesh. Whoops, there, mesh. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to this. Let's add my final copy. I'm gonna hit Control S. I'm gonna run. Walk, walk, walk. Okay, I guess I gotta add my locomotion again. Let's go here. This is gonna be my 600 locomotion. That is gonna be my 0 locomotion. Let's get that to the last. And now once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to my horizontal settings again. In my horizontal settings, I'm gonna call the speed. Don't you know why? That is gonna be set to, let's say 600, that's fine. I can always change that. I'm gonna go with rate. Okay, rate scale, this is gonna be 0. And then we go here. I'm gonna compile. Did I save? Oh, I didn't fully save this. Hold on, how the hell did this come here? Let's go with save. And now if I auto compile, guess we're gonna delete this. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna drop that there. Oh wait, hold up, I can actually drop it. Skeleton not compatible. Fine, let's delete that. I'm gonna go back up here. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete that. In my event graph, we have everything connected. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna right click promote. Just gonna call around speed. And then I'm gonna grab that there. This goes here. And then I'm gonna move on to my A&M graph. I'm gonna add a state machine. Okay, and this is gonna be called locomotion. Okay, ignore my spelling. I'm gonna connect this to my result. I'm gonna double click. My entry is gonna grab the add a new machine called idle slash walk. I'm gonna double click that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go rag blank space. Skeletons are not compatible. It says skeletons are not compatible. What does it mean by skeletons are not compatible? Isn't that literally what we add there? Isn't that like literally what I added it here last time? Interesting. Let's see. That's a blank space. It should be. I should be able to add it. Let's go compile. Oh wait, we need to add a Control Alt F11. Let's see if that fixes the compilation issues. Fine, live coding succeeded. We have our ground speed. Note. Then skeletal are compatible. What? How? How is that a skeleton which is not compatible? Didn't I just add that thing? Hannah underscore final skeleton. Hannah underscore final copy. Skeleton. Okay, let's go to the regular skeleton. I'm gonna go with something like Hannah underscore blend underscore space. Let's see this one's animation. What animation does it give? Wait, seriously? No animation there? Wait, this actually does give a pretty good animation, the hell? Fine, I like that. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's go to horizontal. This is going to be 600. And let's go to rate scale. Rate, not the rate. Rate scale. That is going to be set to 0. What the hell does that keep doing there? There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and move on to this. Let's speed it up. Oh. Okay, well now I'm gonna go ahead and move here. Now, there's no shot that it's gonna say the skeletons that are incompatible. I created this. How can I add this skeleton, but not the skeleton that I created for it to specifically be a skeleton? Like, how does this make sense? Fine, I guess I'll have to do some more tweaks up there to see the logic behind that thing. At least the two of them are the exact same rigs. Well, at least, I mean, I hope they're the exact same rigs. They best be the exact same rigs. In graph, let's go there. Control S, save the code. Let's just save everything from here. I'm gonna go ahead and run the program. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What if I just tackle this? What up? Oh god, it's so hard to hit. I'm trying to hit my character from the back so I could actually... Okay, can I get up here? I'm trying to go up. I'm trying to... There we go. Okay, I don't move unless I don't walk. Is it... Whoa, is it just me or do I wait a whole second before moving? Let's check my character here. Okay, all I think is I gotta increase my max walk speed. Besides max walk speed, everything else feels pretty good. 800. I walk. Okay, my walk does not add up to my one. What if that is 700? 500? Not bad. Let's see. Oh, that is slow. No, that is so slow. 700. 600 should be pretty decent actually. Let's test the original speed out. Only thing is, why the hell is there a whole second delay? Feels more like I'm sliding than I'm walking, right? Or is it just me? Well, if I'm up here, it doesn't really feel like that. Because it looks like I'm walking a little faster. Oh god, I can't see myself. Okay, wait, let's just see this character walking. I want it to be smooth. Like, you guys see the whole second walk, whole second delay, F8. Here, there. After walking, I sort of stop. Hold on, wait, was that a glitch or was that just me? You guys saw that glitch right now? Okay. I mean, I think it's fine. I'm not even like going for that bit of a thing. Alright. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that everything else is saved. I'm gonna exit that. And now I think I also learned how to add my animations on my own, so it won't be that hard. I just gotta remember get velocity. No, it's get vector and velocity length. Or vector length, get velocity and vector length. There we go. Vector length is something I gotta remember. Okay, well, speaking of which, I think that might honestly be pretty much it. I'm going to be working on the idle animation next stream. Like, I'm going to add an idle animation, and then I'm going to go ahead and hopefully add an attack animation, or definitely add an attack animation. Because, let's be honest, I want to actually make this as my NPC, because this looks like a pretty good NPC. Like, the armor, it does not really. I should have added some kind of red horns or something. Why did I not add red horns? Okay, I think it's too late. I mean, I don't want to really add red horns. Maybe later on I will be adding red horns. Depends on my mood and the time that I've got left. So I guess I'm going to exit that. I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my OBS, my main camera. And oh god, okay, I could go ahead and work on adding a bit more game to my video. Guess not. Let's increase some of the white light balance. I guess we're increasing manually. Does it make a difference? Pretty sure not. Of course, if it increases so much, oh whoa, that was too much. Let's decrease. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay, I think I might increase some brightness. Nope, that brightness literally adds a whole layer of cast that I don't even know what to do with. With that, decrease some white light balance. There. I mean, it's not that good. I might decrease some of my sharpness as well. Okay, I'm blurry now. Let's increase it a little more. Am I too clear? There, I think that's good. Okay, let's click OK, I guess. Alright guys, so basically that's pretty much it for the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, if you're gonna like, share, subscribe, like that, my algorithm, try to make you smile, subscribe and get your on top. That said, I will work on adding my idle and attack animation in the next stream. Definitely, I'm not going to be working more on trying to learn how to really add the rigs, because I got a pretty good gist as to how do I add the rig. That said, I will start multi-stream on Twitch and Kiki again once I get a better graphics card. I will start streaming on Instagram and TikTok if I meet the followers requirement. Therefore, if you guys enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link is going to be in the description. The link is going to be in the bio. You guys can get access to my Instagram's link by typing exclamation Instagram on chat. By exclamation Instagram, I meant exclamation socials on chat. And also join my Discord server. That's where we talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have different conversations. The link is going to be in the description. The link is going to be in the bio. You guys can get access to my Discord server by typing exclamation Discord on chat. And that said, I'll catch you guys next time for more video. Peace. Kills the stream.